Hello, my name is Pastor Sam SHIN. I am so grateful that I'm here with you. As you asked, I'm a pastor and I have a church in LA and a Virgin and Beverly's and called Only Jesus Mission Church. And I have a wife and she is such beautiful and I have a 4 kids. And I come to America, I don't know how long ago, and maybe, I don't know, about 50 years ago, I'm not really sure. Basically that I got adopted and when I was in the grade school. So I come here and then and I was working as police officers and doing that my career, and God called me. So I become a pastor for about 17 years ago. So anything else, I guess that's about it. As I kind of stated in the beginning, and as adoption to America, and I came, and basically that as I've grown up, and I have no identity. I really don't know who I am, and I don't know what I really came from. And basically, even though I'm from Korea, but I have no identity. And in school, and running into the main issue, basically that dealing with different ethnics, and we call the Korean way as in Korean, but dealing with a lot of Americans and called blacks and whites and different ethnics. And as I see it, then and become a police officer, and I recognize that the Korean Americans really suffering. Basically they are suffering because of the fact that they have no identity, just like me. So I thought it's at the self. I said, you know what? It's something as we need to be not only recognized to see who we really are. Because if you don't know who you are, then you have no direction. So that's I see that that when the God call, and I see that we need such things. So that's how it got started. To voice. Working as police officer, and I see that we don't have any voice in the community. We live in America, but really just don't have Korean American voice to reach out to the community and also to different ethnics. So, and I believe that, we to strive to face the Korean American community to let them know we are also existing. And so we strive to strengthen politic powers and for basically next generations. I see that we have no voice, and especially next generation to become, and hopefully that there will be the voice for the Korean American communities. And so that is why that we are actually starting out the Korean American Christian coalitions. Well, many issues, but one thing that we know, I think, is school. Public schools actually away from what God is speaking to us in the Bible. And no genders. Such thing is no longer a male, female. School teaching is you could be the male today and you could be the boy or girl next day. But that's not how God created us. Book of Genesis clearly stated that God created heaven and earth, but man and girl and woman. God didn't create Steve and Steve or Adams and Adams. It has to be is a boy and girl. So gender, that's what to teach in public school, and that's something that really got me interested. Second thing is the many things in no personal as identities, and many other things. But thing is, we should be united to one another, and to get along with other ethnics. But we also need to think about the word. And there's some of the things that I see that we really need to strive ourselves to have the government understand or to know what the Bible teaches it. Well, like I say, one of the things that we really need to strive ourselves to, we are created in one. And not only boys and girls, but God create all of us as brothers and sisters. And we need to have other ethnics in the United States become improving working relationship with one another. Because all those things are prejudice or colors and Black Lives Matter. But how about Asian Lives Matter? But when we all become one to all matter to one another, then we don't have to have the word such a thing as Black Americans or Korean Americans. It should be united, to relationship with one another. And that's what I really need to see that happens in America. Well, many things. Number one is, as you know, that starting to with Korean Americans be in politicians. As you know, politicians with the even cities and with the government official, and those things that to really need it. So hopefully, not only their identity recognitions in Korean Americans, but those can be to relate. So the next generation to be speaking out and be part of the government and part of the politician and part of the entertainment. And I want to see that they're to be in that position so they can relate for our voice. Well, first of all, and as you know, the riot occurred and approximately about 28 years ago. And at the time, I was police officers. And because those things are happening and Korean Americans being basically targeted by other ethnics, well, because one of the reasons is because not only are we as Korean Americans not recognize other ethnics, but we also didn't recognize by them either. So we need to have a mutual understanding to one another, have the relationship to one another, so make it create the better community in one pot. And that's why we need to get along, not only get along with one another, but ethnic groups should become in one and to be better improve the community and stuff. Well, basically that Korean American Christian coalitions, and this is something that just comes ideal today. And the pastors will gather together, and also we have elders and deacons together in this community because we are in the one position was from Southern California, president of the Southern California Korean Coalition, the Pastor Association. Also, our president, he is was in charge with nation or United States of America, and his pastor was leading the community. But thing is, when we come and one of the example to Southern California Korean Pastor Association, we have just do our term is 1 year. So you can't really do much, And as we had our experience, because you do for 1 year, then you have other president come along and then the visions change. So we thought this something has to be continuous. Something we do continue to make the improve, and not only for the Korean American community, but there's been relations with other ethnics, so we can expand for better community. So that's why then it comes with the Korean American Christian. That's why with the coalition, so we could help one another and become the better to serve one another. That is why that is something that has happened to want to be happen to our community.